Burkina Faso has endured yet another coup attempt, but this time, it's crucial to address the elephant in the room. Both the citizens and the leaders are now openly questioning who is planning these coups. So, who is behind them?
Burkina Faso makes a huge accusation against France, and they claim that they have evidence to prove it. According to reports, Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, he has evidence of destabilization orchestrated against his country by France.
It's not surprising. We all have a pretty good idea. President Traore himself has pointed fingers multiple times, accusing the West of trying to destabilize the country. The recent coup attempt appears to be tied to these efforts. But is the West really behind this? If it is, then the question remains, why? Let's find out. They say lightning doesn't strike the same place twice, but for Burkina Faso's President Ibrahim Traore, coup attempts seem to defy that rule. 5 times in just 2 years, his leadership has faced a barrage of efforts to destabilize it. While every time the attempt fails, it is now important to ask, who's planning these relentless plots to undermine a nation fighting fiercely for its sovereignty? To fully grasp why Burkina Faso has become the target of such sustained aggression, we must first ask, what is it about President Ibrahim Traore that poses such a threat to Western interests? You must be thinking, why Western interests are being discussed? It's because Traore has himself said many times that the West, especially France, is planning against Burkina Faso.
According to the Burkina Faso military government, these coups are Western-backed, allegedly. That is what they are claiming. And if you remember, Ibrahim Traore also accused France of, working with their neighboring countries to destabilize Burkina Faso.
It is known by all that they don't like Traore. So, it's important to ask why they don't like him. This will provide us with an understanding of who can be behind this coup attempt. So, why is President Ibrahim Traore the target of Western powers? President Ibrahim Traore is not just any leader. He represents a new wave of African leadership, bold, unyielding, and unapologetically committed to the sovereignty of his people. Traore's rise to power was a statement, a declaration that Burkina Faso would no longer be a pawn in the West's geopolitical chess game. Unlike his predecessors, who may have been content to accept foreign aid with strings attached, Traore has firmly rejected external interference and made it clear that Burkina Faso's resources will be used for its people, not for lining the pockets of foreign investors. Traore's domestic policies have been a direct affront to Western interests. He has prioritized the redistribution of wealth, the strengthening of local economies, and the reduction of foreign dependency. These initiatives, while popular among the Burkinabe people, are seen as a threat by Western powers, who have grown accustomed to African countries being reliant on their aid and support. The narrative of a poor, dependent Africa is one that the West has long exploited, both for economic gain and geopolitical influence.
But for the most part, we give repressive regimes money and power and guns to keep that system going. This is what it's fundamentally about. All the hypocrisy about transparency and democracy and bullshit like that, it's all bullshit.
The growing wave of Pan-Africanism, which Traore is a key proponent of, is another reason he has become a target. Pan-Africanism challenges the very foundation of Western dominance in Africa by promoting unity and self-reliance among African nations. This movement is a direct threat to the neo-colonial structures that the West has meticulously built over the decades. Traore's vision of an independent, self-sustaining Burkina Faso is an inspiration to other African nations, signaling a shift away from Western dependency. But it's not just his policies that have rattled the West. Traore's leadership style, transparent, inclusive, and people-focused, has endeared him to his citizens and earned him a level of grassroots support rarely seen in African politics. This popularity makes him particularly dangerous to Western powers. They fear that his example could set a precedent, encouraging other African leaders to reject Western meddling and focus on the welfare of their people. Traore's defiance is seen not just as a personal affront, but as a direct challenge to the West's centuries-old playbook of control and manipulation. They are well aware that if one nation successfully breaks free from its grasp, others will follow. Traore's Burkina Faso is a test case, a potential domino in a chain that could lead to a new independent Africa. With a clearer understanding of why Traore has become a target, we now turn our attention to the strategies being deployed against him. How are these coup attempts being orchestrated, and what does this tell us about